So I want to make a video addressing a comment that I received recently, and this is kind of on that video that I made about when someone leaves you for someone else. I've been doing a lot of research and thinking lately, and I've mentioned in some of my other videos attachment styles. It's called attachment theory, but I am a huge proponent. I 100% believe in attachment theory. If you don't know about it or have never heard about it, you should research it because it is pretty life-changing once you see the patterns in your life. And you can see it in other people too. So basically, there's 4 attachment styles. There's secure, which is what most people want to be. And then there's 3 insecure attachment styles. There's anxious, preoccupied, which are typically like clingy is the word. They're very like anxious driven, so a lot of times they will like blow up your phone, and they're the people who in relationships they really crave attention and just affection and just talking with the other person and being with the other person as much as possible. And then there's dismissive avoidance, and those are the people that are pretty like not all in relationships. They're kind of, well, extremely independent, I would say, and they a lot of times they are single and they have the feeling that, oh, I don't need relationships and I don't need love or any of that. Or in relationships they tend to be pretty not as affectionate, more cold, I guess. And then in the middle of those two is fearful avoidant, and that's what I am. And those are the people who kind of go between the two that I just explained. If you're fearful avoidant, you can lean one way or the other. And for me, I lean dismissive avoidant, so I feel a lot of anxiety, like the anxious preoccupied does, but I don't usually act on it. Like, I won't tell anybody about it. Basically, fearful avoidant is in the middle, and they go back and forth between the two, so they're very like hot and cold in relationships and scared of vulnerability and scared of abandonment. And I've been looking a lot at self-esteem lately too, and how that plays a part. All of the insecure attachment styles have like core wounds, they're called, and it's usually like, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, no one will stick around for me, relationships always end, mistrust, those kinds of things. And the other like really interesting thing about insecure people is that they tend to choose people who reinforce their beliefs, their negative beliefs about themselves. So they tend to pick people who will leave them, they tend to pick people who mistreat them, abuse. Because that's what they're familiar with. And it's actually a subconscious need that they're trying to get met. People pick other non-healthy relationship partners because they're trying to get this deep, long need that they've had for so long met. They're trying to fix the abandonment, or they're trying to fix the past of not being loved and accepted. They're trying to get that fixed by somebody who displays that they don't really care about you, and they mistreat you or they abuse you, and it's like, well, I'm gonna fix it this time. I'm gonna make them see my worth. I'm gonna make them see that I am worth being loved. And that's just not, and that's the sad part, is it doesn't work that way. The comment that I got recently, it was about, I told them that you have to, if you have these patterns in your life where this keeps happening to you, and you have to step back and ask yourself, why did I choose this person? Why did I stick around when they mistreated me repeatedly, when they showed they didn't care about me, when they disrespected me, when they abuse, whatever, like the list goes on. Like, why did I choose this person, and more importantly, why did I stay for so long? You have to really ask yourself that, because if you don't, you're just gonna repeat the same patterns over and over again in your life. And that's for all the insecure attachment styles. If you don't fix that, you're just going to repeat the same patterns over and over for the rest of your life, and it's painful. It's so painful. I've never had a long-lasting, healthy romantic relationship in my life. Never. I've had, when I started dating, early 20s, I had a couple short-term healthy relationships, very short-term, but the rest were all horribly not healthy, terrible, toxic, narcissists. And you have to ask yourself, why do I choose these people? And I believe it's always two things. It's low self-esteem, low self-worth, and having an insecure attachment style. Because otherwise, if you were secure, people who are secure and who have self-worth and self-love, they don't choose those kinds of people to be in relationship with. And maybe they would at first because they don't see the red flags, but as soon as they saw red flags, they would be out of there. They would never, they would not give that person the time of day. People who have low self-worth and insecure, they want that kind of person. Subconsciously, they want that kind of person, and that's really sad, because it just reinforces, like I said before, the negative beliefs that you have about yourself, and you're just setting yourself up for failure and pain every single time. And I probably have a long ways to go, a long road of getting to be secure, because it takes a lot of work, because you have to work on your behaviors. And you have to recognize your problematic behaviors in relationships. Like, one of mine is that I don't like conflict, and anytime that I've had arguments in relationships, I usually shut down emotionally, or I do the whole silent treatment thing, oh, nothing's wrong, I'm fine, and cold shoulder, and then a lot of times, like, I have literally run from conflict, like literally ran out of the building and got in my car and went away from the person many times, because that's how much I don't like conflict, and I don't like sharing my feelings, and I don't like being vulnerable, and I don't like telling somebody when they hurt me. It makes me extremely uncomfortable. Like, it's so hard, I can't even do it, pretty much. And I just struggle with vulnerability, and especially emotional vulnerability in general in relationships. It feels extremely uncomfortable for me, because I feel like if I let somebody see all of me, then they're gonna reject me, or they're gonna abandon me. Like, one of the biggest steps I think for me that was a positive is, like I said in my other video about when someone leaves you for someone else, having the realization that if that person does come back, that you don't give them a second chance. Like, that is powerful. Not in a like vengeance kind of way. That is powerful in like self protection kind of way. Like, you hurt me so much before, and I'm never gonna let you hurt. I'm never gonna give you that option to hurt me again. No matter what anybody might say, like, oh, I'm changed and I realized my mistake and this and that. Like, if you left me for someone else, then you don't get that chance to hurt me again, no matter what you say, that how you are. There will not be that opportunity for you ever again, because I won't ever put myself in that position. And that's how I feel everybody should be on that. I mean, some people are a lot more forgiving, and that's their right, but I feel like if you really want to respect yourself, you have to walk away and find somebody else. Because, like, I can't live with the fact that if I wasn't good enough the first time around for you, I'm never gonna let you have another chance. Because I can honestly tell you, like, I've had quite a few relationships, and not one single one of those have I ever left somebody that I was in a relationship with for someone else. I've never done that. And I'm not saying that's like a horrible thing. People, it's their own lives. They're entitled to be attracted to who they're attracted to and to pursue who they want if they're not married. But, or even if they are married, I guess it's still there. But the problem I have with it is coming back to someone that you rejected so painfully. They weren't good enough. Like, to have the audacity to come back and beg forgiveness and to say, like, give me another chance. Well, that ship has sailed. I feel bad for, like, all the people who are insecure in relationships, and there's a lot of people. I think that over 50% of the population, I don't know, I would guess that over 50% of the population has an insecure attachment style. And that's why relationships are so hard for so many people, because they're just repeating the patterns from childhood their whole life. And a lot of times they're just oblivious to it. And it's like, why does this keep happening to me over and over? And you have to look deep into that. And it's hard. It's really hard to look at that stuff, because it brings up all these old painful memories. I just really like talking about this stuff because I find it so interesting, and it just explains so much. Like, it makes everything so much clearer. I hate being lost and, like, you know, like, having to repeat pain over and over again. It's like, I'm trying to fix that so that I haven't felt loved most of my life. I've felt just, like, disconnected and alone. I know it's really cliche that people say that you have to love yourself first before anyone else can love you. I don't know if that's entirely true, but it helps a lot. And I will say that you do need to love yourself, learn to love yourself, because otherwise you're gonna just repeat, you're just gonna put up with all kinds of abuse from other people because you don't feel that you're worth being respected and being treated well and being loved. So please leave a comment and let me know what you think about this topic, and let me know what attachment style you are. I'd be very curious to know. You can take a test. There's lots of tests online.